Hello, welcome to the EPI application LDS approval workflow training. My name is David Brizzi. In this training module, we'll be reviewing the following topics: EPI application access prerequisites, basic information about EPI, creating a new reuse LDS DUA request with reused data files, and EPI help desk information. EPI is accessible through the CMS portal homepage. Please make sure you are using your EIDM credentials to log into the CMS portal to access EPI. The registration and role request processes are covered in a subsequent training module. Please note that all required fields in EPI are indicated with an asterisk. Also, select any question mark icon throughout the system to display field-specific help. For more information about data use agreements, use the Training Slide Decks link on the EPI homepage. This link will redirect you to the EPI information page on cms.gov. From the EPI home screen, select New Reuse under DUAs in the left navigation menu. On the New Reuse DUA request screen, using the Quit button on this page will display the Unfinished DUA pop-up, which reads, "You are about to quit an unfinished DUA. Any unsaved data will be lost. Do you really wish to quit?" Use the Yes button in the lower right corner of the pop-up to finish the quit. No DUA will be created. Use the No button in the lower right corner of the pop-up to close it and continue with creating your DUA request. Select the Limited Data Set Radio button and then Next in the lower right corner of the screen. Your organization will be auto-populated, or you can pick from the drop-down if you belong to multiple organizations. Please note that you will be unable to create any new DUAs for your organization if there is at least one expired DUA. Expired DUAs and where to find them are covered in subsequent training modules. If you use the Save button in the lower left corner of the screen after selecting your organization, the Save Unfinished DUA pop-up displays with the following message: "You are about to save an unfinished DUA. Are you sure?" Use the Save button in the lower right corner of the pop-up to finish the save. A save confirmation message will display, "DUA request has been saved," and the DUA number is also displayed in the message. Now that I have chosen my organization, I will select Next in the lower right corner of the screen. Next, select either Yes or No for adding a collaborating organization. If you pick Yes, enter the collaborating organization name, in the Select Collaborating Organization field, and select the correct value from the dropdown. If the organization does not show in the dropdown, use the Cannot Locate the Organization link next to the organization field, complete the fields in the pop-up, and select Submit. This is then routed to the EPI administrators for approval before your process can continue. For the purposes of this training, we are not going to submit a new organization. After picking the organization from the dropdown, use the Add button under the Select Collaborating Organization field to add it to the Selected Collaborating Organizations table. Continue this process to add as many collaborating organizations as you need to. Use the Remove link next to the organization to remove it from the table. Select the Next button in the lower right corner of the screen when you are done. On the main information page, enter the project name and project aim. Select Next in the lower right corner of the screen. From the Custodians DESI Users screen, indicate any custodians and/or DESI users for this DUA request. At least one custodian is required to be identified, which can include the requester. Please note that DESI users should only be added in the event the data will be directly accessed from the data extract system, better known as DESI. Select the Add Custodians DESI User button on the left of the screen above the Save button to begin the process. Select the user's organization, which includes either the requesting organization or any collaborating organizations on the DUA. Pick a user from the list of values in the Select Users field, or use the Add New User link and complete the fields. Pick the Select User Location dropdown to indicate their location, or use the Add New Location link and complete the fields. Select Yes or No for Is the selected user a DESI user question? If the answer is no, then select Submit to add them to the table. If the answer is yes, you're required to enter their EUA user ID and then select Submit to add them to the table. For the purposes of this training, we will leave the default selected to No and then Submit in the lower right corner of the pop-up. There is no limit to the number of custodians, DESI users that can be added to the DUA. Select Next in the lower right corner to navigate to the Reuse Data Files selection page when you're done adding custodians, DESI users. On the Reuse Data Files selection page, a question is displayed. Do you wish to reuse any data files from the existing active DUAs? Select Yes to add reused data files to the DUA request, or No if you are not adding any reused data files. For the purposes of this training module, select Yes. If you select Yes, you will receive a pop-up warning that reads, please upload the reused data worksheet, which is required when reused data files are added to an LDS DUA request. Uploading documents is covered later in this training module. Use the OK button in the lower right corner of the pop-up to close it. A table of available data file descriptions for reuse will display. You can make multiple selections from the requesting and/or collaborating organization's DUAs. Please note, if the files you would like to reuse are not in the reuse data files listed below, add them as new files. Please list the file names in the comments section, along with the DUA numbers for which the files will be reused. Please remember to upload the reuse data file worksheet in the Documents section. Choose your files. And then select the Add Selection to DUA Request button below the table to add them to the request. Use the Edit link for the first file in the table to begin the setup process. Choose the available year range from the dropdown. Pick the From Year and To Year from the available year range. Please note that some future file years in the year range may not be available yet. Select the quarters and states if applicable. Select the Add button under the States field and then Next in the lower right corner of the pop-up. The Custodians tab will display any previously identified custodians as view only. Select Next to go to the Shipping Information tab. Reused data files will not be reshipped. However, the previous shipping information is displayed. Select Finish in the lower right corner of the pop-up when you are done. Select the Edit link for the next file to set up and follow the same steps. Once all reused data files are in a complete status, select the Next button in the lower right corner of the screen to move on to the New Data Files selection page. Adding new data files is covered in a subsequent training module. However, please note that you are allowed to add both reused data files and new data files to the same DUA request. For the purposes of this training, we are not going to add any new data files. Select Next in the lower right corner of the screen. Upload any supporting documentation for this DUA request on the Upload Documents screen. To summarize when a document would be required, Attachment A Research Protocol is required for all new LDS DUAs. Please use the appropriate Uploads Document button in the table to upload this document. The LDS worksheet is required when new files are added to the request. Please use the appropriate Upload Documents button in the table to upload this document. The Reuse Data worksheet is required when reuse files are added to the request. Please use the appropriate button in the table to upload this document. Signature addendum is required when adding custodians to an LDS DUA other than the requester through new reuse and or update amend. Please use the appropriate button in the table to upload this document. You can also use the upload button in the lower left of the screen to upload additional documents to your DUA request. For example, any historical documents related to the project study. When selecting Next in the lower right corner of the screen without uploading the appropriate document files, you may receive several messages depending on what documents are expected by the EPI system. In this example, a message is displayed, please upload the Attachment A Research Protocol document, which is required when a new LDS DUA is requested. For the purposes of this training, we need to add Attachment A reuse data worksheet because we added at least one reuse data file, and a signature addendum because we added a custodian other than the requester. Select OK in the lower right corner of the pop-up to close it. Please note that files of invalid formats such as JPEG, PNG, or any with macros built in will be rejected. Select Next in the lower right corner when you have uploaded all necessary documents. The DUA review screen is displayed. Review all information entered on the DUA from this screen. Select the plus sign icon on the right side of the screen to expand the DUA lifecycle. The DUA lifecycle displays actions on a DUA throughout the course of its life. For example, a change in status. You are required to enter comments in the comments field at the bottom of the screen that relate to your request. Reminder that if the files you would like to reuse were not in the reuse data files table, and if you added them as new files, then please list the file names in the comments section, along with the DUA numbers from which the files would be reused. Your comments will be viewable to the DUA management team in the DUA Lifecycle Comments field. Select Next in the lower right corner of the screen to proceed to the Terms and Conditions page. Review the Terms and Conditions before selecting the checkbox in the lower left corner of the screen, therefore indicating your agreement. Select Submit from the lower right corner of the screen. You are taken to the DUA Request Status page. The Submission Confirmation message displays your DUA request, with the DUA number included, has been submitted for approval. You will receive a follow-up email notification. To view the status of your DUA request, navigate to My DUAs. You can print the DUA or save a copy of it. Printing the DUA is covered in a subsequent training module. You should be able to view the DUA from the submitted queue. The DUA is then routed to the DMT for approval. You will receive an email when the DMT has made a determination. If you have any questions, please contact the EPI Help Desk at 844-EPI-DUA or 844-377-3382 or via email at epi@cms.hhs.gov. They are available Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This concludes this training module.